Welcome back. This is your host, Dane Eidson, out of the box. My co-host, Lord Markham. My guests, Wally Eidson and Greg Walker, co-owners, Junior's Pest Control. Why does a homeowner have to be careful when choosing a company to do a mold job? Just not anybody can do it. There's certain questions that an owner probably should be asking them and themselves of whether a company is qualified or not to do an efficient job on mold control. What are some of the things they need to look for in a company?
Well, one thing you most definitely need to discuss with anybody is how they're going to contain the area, because you're talking about a contaminant here, and a contaminant that can be spread to other parts of the house. So you need professionals and people that are trained in this line of work that are going to come out and contain the area, make sure the contamination doesn't spread, because it can spread if you have your HVC system underneath the house and you're doing a crawl space. That needs to be shut off.
So what you're saying is some company could come in there and say, now for a fifth of the price, I'm going to go in here and do a mold job, but really all they're doing in there is going in there with a gallon of bleach and throwing some bleach on it and calling it a mold job, when there's really more to a mold job than just going in there and spreading a little bleach. There's some containment of the area and things of this nature.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
A homeowner needs to get a scope of work from the company that they're going to deal with.
Could you explain what you mean by scope of work?
Exactly what they are going to do.
Okay.
As far as like fixing the problem. Such as what type of chemicals they're going to use, what they're going to do to contain the area, what are they going to use to protect the homeowner, and mainly and what type of warranty they're going to give. You're liable to get an estimate from one company, and then, like you said, another company go in there and price it at a tenth of what a good company might do, but all they're going to do, like you said, is
cover the problem.
What we've run into is they're going there and clean it with bleach, throw some vapor berry on the ground, and that call it a mold job. And then a month later, you got the mold back. The main thing is ask what type of warranty that company's going to give you, and if they're insured, liability, and just all kind of stuff.
Well, can I ask you this? And this very important point you brought up, to be able to offer that, you have to get certified or trained in this area to get approved to be able to offer these things? Well,
no, that's the thing. It's not a very regulated industry right now, but it's going to be.
Right.
And we are, as far as being in Decatur County, we've been told that we are so far ahead of the curve around our competitors that it's not even close.
That's great.
And like I said, the main thing the customer needs to do is go ahead and get you some estimates, but make sure that them guys give you a scope of work, exactly what they're going to do, and always deal with a locally family-owned company, to where if somebody calls you with a problem, they can get a hold of the owner. They can get a hold of anybody. They don't have to call 1-800 numbers to talk to anybody.
Someone that's personal in the area.
Get some references. Right. That's right.
That's a great point you're bringing
up.
And
you know, it's happened to us before where we priced a job for, like, just to give you an example. Let's say we did one for $2,000, and then they call another company, and that same company does it for $500, but all they did was waste $500.
Right.
You know.
So it's the old saying goes, Wally, wouldn't you say, you get what you pay for?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I find that with computers. You know. Just to give an example where people can follow an analogy, what they're saying is that when you buy a computer, if you buy a cheap computer, well, like a technician told me, within 3 months, he knows that's going to be on there. He's going to be making money off of it. So when it comes to this mold problem, Greg, and I want to emphasize this, the cheap route is not the route to go because of the health issue, the potential danger.
Right. Whenever we started out this year, and we have spent thousands on equipment, thousands on training. We've got two good friends up in Atlanta area, and both companies are certified mold remediators. And I hired this company to come down with their equipment and their personnel, and they spent a week down here at my expense. And we done 2 jobs that week, and they personally trained all of my employees from one aspect to the other as far as the the safety and the proper way to do it. And you can't get in this business. I mean, it's an expensive thing for the homeowner to have to pay when they get this, but our expense is great too, as far as the training and the equipment that we have to use.
I want to bring out a good example to use to emphasize the importance of this. So, my wife's a nurse. Suppose you go to a doctor and the doctor says, if you don't take this medicine, you're going to get worse off. It's a little bit expensive, but if you don't take it, you're going to be in worse shape. So, of course, you're going to take that medicine, or you're going to give that kid, your child, that medicine. And what they're saying is that don't be alarmed by one cost compared to another company's cost, because like my brother said, the scope of it, you got to take into account the treatment of it, the elimination of it, and the prevention of recurrences, correct?
Yeah, the thing about it is that if you got somebody in there and they done a mold treatment for you, mold remediation for you, let's just say you have a 1,500 square foot house.
Right.
And if they're in there and out of there in a day, you didn't get the right job done, unless it's a pre-treatment, a brand new house that doesn't have any insulation or doesn't need cleaning. But other than that, most of our mold jobs, our mold remediation jobs, they're at least two and a half days of working from 8-10 hours a day.
So you're very
and that's a
thorough.
short one. Most of them are at least 3 days.
So you're saying that if someone does it less than a day, that's usually an indicator of not doing their proper job.
I just cannot see that ever happen.
Okay.
I mean, we'll put 4 people
Right.
on a job, and it takes at least 2.5 to 3 days. At least that long. And them are full days.
Now this mold, if it can literally seep through the pores in the wall and into the home and in the air. And
well, we got the right equipment to keep that from happening.
Right.
And that's one thing we do, is that we contain the area. We got very expensive equipment that I know that nobody in this area has, because they don't know how to properly do the job right.
Right.
I can go in. You can get some kid to go underneath there and spray it with bleach and clean it. But like you said, bleach does not kill mold in sporous materials.
The molds that we have around here that are most seen in the homes in this area, I know you mentioned that when the lumber comes in, sometimes it has the roots already in that lumber. What other ways does a home get mold? I mean, is it like from a flood or from some other means?
Let's hold that point, and we're going to bring that let him answer that after the break. We're out of time on this segment, and keep that in mind. We want you to answer that. We'll be back in a moment, and this is Out of the Box with your host, Dane Eidson, and my co-host, Lloyd Markham.